This is the future.
What's up, YouTube and Facebook, and welcome back to Not Quite Mint. Today we are doing our review show, which is this week's comics in reviews, and this is episode 2. And we're going to look at some of the new comics that came out this week. We're going to give you a rundown of our top 3, and then we're going to talk about some comics that both me and Rich have been reading in our spare time. So, shall we get into it, Rich?
Let's get into it, Tom. Yeah, we've it's been a really exciting week, but we're looking forward to this new comic book reviews, episode 2. We're back in the kind of like the sort of old school mold. But if you are new to the channel, guys, we do these streams every Thursday. We do stream on a Tuesday as well, and we normally release at least one other video during the week. Make sure that you are subscribed. Give us a thumbs up. Obviously, if you've got any comments, obviously you can stay in the comments below. But yeah, that would be superb. Obviously, there is this thing as well, which would be really good. If you click the little bell icon, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos and bits and bobs. So it's always helpful to do that as well. But yeah, me and Tom were basically saying how exciting this week has been, because it is one hell of a good week. So do we want to get delve straight into the reviews?
Shall we do it?
So I'm not sure what order we're going in for these, but
no, to be honest, I couldn't. Wow, I know what I'd put at the bottom of these 3.
Yeah, so we've got
to split the top 2.
So I think, but yeah, oh, this is really difficult. This is actually. So are we going to go? Because I'm trying to read your mind now, because we didn't decide this before, and so does it begin with a B or does it begin with a T?
A T.
Okay, right. So third place, I've got to get this right there. Yeah, is this concluding episode of
the final issue
of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So I have got the copy here, but what did you think of this then, Tom?
Well, yeah, I really like this one. It's written by Ryan Parrott, and the illustration is done by Dan Moore, who I absolutely love his artwork. If you haven't seen his artwork on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, go and read Once Future Time or whatever it is. It's absolutely amazing. It's all about like King Arthur and stuff. It's great. Anyway, this was the first appearance of the Turtle Megazord, which is incredible. However, it was slightly let down because it only has like one whole page. That's literally it. It does no more than one page. It's really annoying because I wanted it to have more. But I really enjoyed it. I thought the story was great. It's a really good conclusion to what I would say has been a really enjoyable, fun book to read overall. We've had some great first appearances. We've had some funny moments. We've had some good twists and turns. I like how this one ends, and it ends on such an opener that there could be more, which I really hope they do. I think it was really good. What did you think, Rich?
Yeah, I'm so. It's a bit weird actually how you've just described it, because I feel like I've really enjoyed it all the way through. I know we've been really like looking forward to like the next issue, because there's always been like some kind of new reveal. Like there was the green Shredder Ranger, and there was like the Ninja Turtle Rangers and all that. Every issue had something to like really look forward to, and I kind of feel almost like, I'm not going to say it peaked too early, but it peaked and then kept on going. And
yeah,
do you know what I mean? It wasn't like it wasn't like reading like detective stories or Batman, like in a really long arc where you've got like, you know, breadcrumbs and then like a few little things, and it gradually builds up. This was like very much like straight off, very like it kind of gave you what you wanted, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, checking on Key Collector, that every issue is a key. There's not one that isn't. But I don't know, I think you're going to go down the road of this went like from strength to strength to strength to strength, and then this last issue was good, but it was nowhere near as good as the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember saying to you, I don't know, was it the end of issue 1 or was it the end of issue 2 where there was the grit, like the Shredder sort of Ranger thing happened, and that was kind of that was like a real like. I want to say unexpected because it was like a proper true first, so it was quite. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Like, how's this going to play out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I found it really well written. I thought it was good. They brought in obviously Rita Repulsa, didn't they? And had that whole. They kind of like spoke about that sort of their like history, and like they ended up kind of like falling out. And it has been a really good arc, hasn't it? I've really enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it from start to finish. Like I said though, I feel like this issue. It ended well. It did end well, and I do want more. So it gave me exactly what I wanted, but it wasn't as strong as some of the other issues. But I will get the graphic novel because I liked it that much. I want it in my collection. So
yeah, so I thought. I've got one of those ones that again because I've got my Power Rangers here, and I think I would like much like yourself. I'd like to get the Turtles hardcovers as well. It's one of those ones where even though I've got the single issues, I'm probably still going to like look to get like some kind of a collected edition of it as well because it was really good. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely. I mean, it's one like I say. I feel it got to that peak and just kept on going. It didn't necessarily deliver much more, but like I do agree that it was a bit confusing because the Turtles were in like the normal Megazord, weren't they?
At the start,
for a long period, and then you sort of like your Morphin ninja types turned up, and they were in like an emergency robot Zord. And then the
character that they turn up in, or the turtle robot thing they turn up in, is a turtle from the Turtle series.
Right. So
robot turtle in the series that Donatello becomes at one point. And I didn't understand how they got him so big. They never really explained how he became a Megazord. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't read it and you want to read it, don't listen anymore because I have to say that bit really annoyed me.
But I do agree with you, mate. I was a bit like, I want the Turtles Zord. I want the Turtles Zord. Like that was my payoff. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, and like you say, it was over quite quickly after that. And I was a bit like,
you've seen the concept art that Dan Moore did for that particular.
I don't think so. I think I might have seen it on Instagram or something.
It's insane. It's beautiful, but it only has 2 or 3 panels where it shows up, and you can't see it in full flare, which annoyed me a little bit. But anyway, here's what it is. The whole thing was brilliant. Other than that,
yeah, but maybe in the hardcover we might get some more concept drawings, or
I'm assuming so.
Yeah. Interesting. Right, and so we're gonna have a bit of I think. Right, so next up, it's which one are we going to go for? Because is it T or B?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, shall we, like, between the two of us now, without saying which one's which, what score out of 5 were you going to give T?
Probably out of 5, I'd probably be around about. They're both about the same, to be fair. I'd probably maybe 4.25 for Thor, and maybe 4 for B. I'd probably put T slightly ahead.
Mine would probably be the other way around. I would have probably gone B and then T. Okay. Sorry, yeah. So T would be my next call, then B. But I'm happy to go with yours. Let's do B.
No, I'll tell you what. We'll go with you. We'll go with. It's literally they're both got so many pluses and minuses. Not necessarily minuses, but they've got a lot of pluses for them. A lot of key potential, and we'll I think So if we start with this one, which is Thor number 5. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying reading Johnny Cates stuff. Obviously, I'm catching up on Venom. Did I say Johnny? Donny Cates, anyway. I'm catching up. with Donny Cates, and then reading obviously Venom, reading obviously Thor. What's the other one that I'm reading of his? There's another one that I'm reading of his as well. But I've just
in Rednecks. No,
I haven't read that. I haven't done that one. But in general, I'm just finding it a very. He just writes a really good paced story. I think there's so much action and so much interest going on, and I don't know how he manages to build the suspense quite as much as he does.
It's mad, isn't it? I would say Donny Cates is definitely a hook writer, because I find myself sometimes some of the panels I'm like, oh God, come on, what's going on here? And then suddenly I'm hooked and I'm in. I'm hook, line, and sinker, and I've read the whole book before I even known I've done it. He's a great writer. He really is.
Yeah, I mean, this one for me as well. There's obviously a big build-up with this one, because I think this one's been credited as being the first appearance of the Black Winter, which is something was introduced in issue 1, and we still don't really understand quite what it is or who it is really, or it's its own thing. It's not like it's somebody else. I don't think it's it is this. I think have you read Immortal Hulk, Tom?
I haven't, no.
So in that, there's this big being, I think, and it's called something like the One Above All,
Okay.
and that's this kind of all-powerful, celestially type of thing that obviously presides over everything kind of thing. And there's a really trippy issue, I think it's around about issue 23 or something like that, where Hulk goes off into this whole celestial realm type of thing, and it's all a bit bonkers. But that's what this feels like with the Black Winter, is that it's this really kind of destructive kind of presence lurking in the background. And but as we find out in this, I don't want to give many spoilers away, because it is kind of worth reading. It starts to speak, doesn't it? So it's actually communicating with Thor and Galactus, and it's quite. It really does build, I think, well on what we've seen so far.
And some of the stuff he says, or some of the stuff, we don't know if it's male or female or binary or whatever. But what it says, you kind of get the feeling that the story you've been told about it so far isn't entirely the truth. So
I was a bit confused. I was like, have I missed a bit?
Yeah, I thought the same. I started reading it and thinking, nah, what? And then I got into it and I was thinking that what's happening here is he's building this whole idea of what you've been told might not be the truth. So I like the idea of that.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
There's a few, again, without spoiling it, like you said, there's a few little hidden gems in this book of reoccurring faces that you haven't seen for a while that turn up. I like that. I thought that was a really good touch.
Yeah, it was good. And this one, it's obviously going to be quite a popular one. So I've managed to get. Obviously, this is a standard cover.
Almost I like that they're almost like Indiana Jones, that cover. So he's using his hammer as a light to be able to see in the darkness. I like that.
I did wonder if it was some kind of a homage type of thing, because it is kind of a bit classic. But yeah, the whole Lost in the Black Winter thing. They're doing obviously there's a Marvel Zombies variant one as well.
Cool.
Immortal Hulk had a zombies version as well. I think there's quite a few this month that are Marvel Zombies. And I managed to snag the 1 in 25. I think it's the Esad Ribic one as well. Which
Estad's amazing. He's such a nice guy as well, Estad Ribic.
Yeah, he's one of those ones, because as I say, I've been picking up quite a lot.
Everything he does in watercolors.
It's just unbelievable. His art is fantastic. I mean,
I've
a
couple of times of meeting him at Nice Comic Con,
cool.
and I really wish I'd got a little bit more cash in my pocket at the time to buy an original from him, because his work was mesmerizing. Because I've watched people do watercolors and stuff before, and it always blows my mind. But his style, I don't even know how you would even go about it. He just does the whole thing without even drawing any outlines out. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. How did you know that's where you wanted to put that character on this watercolored paper? Like, how did you work that one out?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think definitely because I've been sort of trying to get my head around the whole this whole variant thing that's going on at the moment. I've definitely wanted so bloody hot. It's like in my little office here. It's an absolute oven. I genuinely I can't wait to much like yourself, visit these cons, go and meet with the artists and talk about their work in relation to the stories and things like that. I'm really and the writers as well. So. It's going to be really cool. We actually, on our NQM thing, we got a like from Ryan Stegman, and I felt good for that today. I felt really good. Was that what's that? Sorry,
that on Twitter.
Yeah, that was on Twitter. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I felt good there. Yeah, I think I just commented on something that Donny Cates had done. It's something like a picture about him saying he's missing getting out and meeting the community and stuff, and it was and I think he said something about the CGC signings that I think him and Ryan are at the moment doing their CGC in session signing, and I just was I think I just put really tempted to send stuff off, but I can't send stuff to America from the UK. Do you know what I mean? Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson news. That's a good point.
I can't wait for that either, Rich. I'm so excited for that. But what I'm more excited for is to see him and Emily Blunt do Ball and Chain, which is also a comic book movie.
Yeah. Is that going to be a Netflix one? That one?
I think it's a Netflix original. Yeah, Netflix series, just one off.
Oh,
but yeah, it's going to be good. I've read that. It's really actually quite a cool comic. The concept behind it is amazing.
Yeah, so I think I saw a trailer for it. But yeah, there's tons of stuff. I mean, all the films that got put on hold and stuff. I think if they decide to, they'll come out. I think over a little bit more of a condensed schedule as well. So we'll just be
boom, movie after movie. Let's have it.
Yeah, movie nights all around. Hopefully, if we can still go in each other's houses and stuff.
We should be able to, man.
But it's all good. But yeah, Thor, fantastic book. Definitely check it out. But it means, season 2 of Umbrella Academy. Have you watched that, Tommy?
I have, yeah. I've not watched season 2. It's not come out yet.
No, Holly absolutely loved Umbrella Academy, and I was really shocked, that she enjoyed it as much as she did, kind of thing.
It's the My Chemical Romance bloke that wrote it, isn't it?
Yes, Gerard
Way,
isn't it? Gerard Way, because he writes. He diversified into comic book writing, which is interesting.
He's done fantastic stuff, not just Umbrella Academy. He's done some quite good stuff.
Yeah, I've been surprised actually when quite a lot of the popular indie bits and bobs. I think he's been involved in quite a few different projects. I haven't read any of the books that he's wrote, but I didn't realise until I watched Umbrella Academy that he had anything to do with it as well. So again, too much to read, not enough time, but we'll get there. So our pick of the week then begins with the letter B, and I need to just find the one. But it is Batman 93, I believe. Is that correct?
It is Batman 93. And cheers for that, Rich. That'd be very nice. If you don't mind, take a video of you in a cold shower and send it. Cheers. Legend.
Oh no! Tell you what, I will be having a cold shower immediately.
I had a cold bath just before this because I was it was horrendous in here. Anyway, so our pick of the week is Batman 93, written by James Tynion, and the artwork is by Tony Daniel. And this is the identity reveal of the designer and the first punch-up between Punchline and Harley Quinn. Now, I want to hear your opinion first before mine, Rich. What did you think?
I really like the issue. It was there were certain aspects that were better than I was expecting. It's raised a lot more questions over what comes next with certain characters. I didn't. I'm not going to say that I called it, but I wasn't. I was let down but not massively surprised with one of the big reveals without again giving too much away. It makes sense. It made sense because we've only got 2 more issues before a massive Batman related event starts. But yeah, the way that it was executed, again, I had to flip backwards through the pages and be like, so they're saying that this character was this and it was this, and I it just seemed to like, and I was just a bit like, oh well, move on. It kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. But I'll move on. Do you know what did you think?
It completely threw me, mate. I would totally agree with you. I think it contradicted itself a little bit in places. However, I thought it was so cleverly written to how the designer designed each individual thing to lead you all to this point, for then the big reveal for it not to be what you think it is. I just thought the twist was great. It isn't what I wanted, obviously, because we all know what I wanted to happen. But I thought it was really good. I did enjoy it. I thought the reveal of the designer was like you said, not predictable, but made sense on what it was or who it is. I liked the way that this is basically this whole few issues that we've had since Tinian took over has just been this giant prelude to the upcoming event that is coming for Batman. And I like that it all links, but I also like that everything is intertwined and twisted and turned. And I feel like I'm going to have to go back and reread issue. I think is it 89 when he comes on board and start again, because I feel like it hints to what happens in this issue, in that first issue, that would have told you what was going to happen. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I thought the punch up between Harley Quinn and Punchline was excellent, very well drawn. I liked that it was a bit of tongue-in-cheek between the two of them. I liked that Harley had got this whole, you don't know him like I do, and Punchline's like, actually, I know him better than you do. I thought that was brilliant. I really did think the chemistry there was great. I don't see how it's going to go on any further after what happened, but I am excited to see how things escalate between those two for sure.
Yeah, I'd tend to agree, and I'm very, very thrown on what exactly happened and I'm really excited. There's got to be like a follow up about after what had happened, and I don't think it'll be the be all and end all type of thing. I think there'll be like a rehabilitative kind of process to go through, I think, and that's going to be quite interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if what they've set up at the end of this issue with certain things happening to certain characters is going to continue to happen to those characters, like that line of characters that Batman relies on, as it were. If that's going to continue to happen, I can see that. I'm trying to word this without spoiling it too much.
It's difficult because there's a lot of spoilers, isn't there?
Yeah, it's like, so if this continues to happen, this line of things that are happening at the end of this issue, what's going on, continues, then you can see that the big epic event that's going to happen is going to be massive, and it's only going to be targeted at Batman. And that is going to be so cool to see him just kind of essentially just Batman.
That's a very good way of putting it. Just Batman. Without ruining it. It's very clever, and again, it almost I can't say that. Basically, the way that it's kind of turned out, it's almost as if the person pulling the strings like stole that idea, did what they did earlier on, which we saw them do, but didn't think that they'd done, because the designer then came back, and then to find out that that's actually what has happened and how it was all planned out. It's like that was clever, I thought.
Yeah, I thought
You know.
I thought the whole design of the whole thing was really clever. And then how Batman figured it out was cool too. It's just, in my opinion, this is one of the best written runs going on in comics at the moment. In all fairness, I do love the Donny Cates Venom stuff, and I do love the Donny Cates Thor stuff, but it's not got a patch on James Tynion's Batman at the moment. I think it's the best written stuff going, and it just keeps going from strength to strength. And I think it's because it's confusing me and it's really making me intrigued. And like I said at the start of the video, is I feel like he's knitting, like you said about, he's kind of knitting up these nice little answers to your questions, but then he's just hitting you in the face with more questions. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, you've answered that, but now I want to know what this is all about. It's
and the way I think, because did the designer thing happen before the Harley punchline fight? I can't remember which order that came in.
I think it was kind of at the same time, mid fight.
Yeah, it was, and that's what I say. It was like you were like going from page to page and being like, oh, what's going to happen? In fact, you're right, because I was reading it, and obviously, obviously, my wife was sat and she was reading a book next to me, and when something happened, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that's just happened!" And I showed her like the page, and she was like, "Go on then, what happens?" And that was sort of like even she wanted to know. And then I turned the page, and then it was back to Batman, and it was like. And then she was like, "Oh, tell me, you know." She was like, "When so and so comes back, tell me." And like, I want to know what happens now. So it was very impactful. So that was really
definitely
cool. But yeah, so obviously there were two covers. The Martina that you can sort of see on there, which is that one with obviously the trade dress, the minimal trade dress up at the top, and then that's obviously the standard one, which was the Tony Daniel cover. You can see his sort of signature down at the bottom there, but yeah, very, very revealing, and just can't wait for Joker War to come around now, because we are
gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and I think I'm going to have to get all of the tie-ins. So I'll have to get like the Detective Comics tie-in, and it's just gonna be a bit epic. But yeah, it'll be a nice thing to collect, because obviously I've like, this is probably one of the first proper Batman runs that I've like been invested into. Like I've read most of the stuff on, you know, in trades or collector's editions and stuff like that. So it's really cool to actually have the single issues and see it coming along bit by bit, like 100%. Right. So that's all of this week's comics finished. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the other bits that we've been reading away from what's came out this week.
Happy days.
Do you want to go first? Have you got any preference on which one you want to talk about first, mate?
No, I can do either or.
Should we go? We'll go alphabetical order.
Okay, cool.
So there you go, mate.
Excellent. So from last week, I decided to continue on with my Avengers re-education. So after the events of Disassembled, you then get the birth of Brian Michael Bendis and Brian Hitch's The New Avengers. And the first story arc is called Breakout. And essentially what happens is there's a breakout at Rikers Island, and all these villains get released. But the main process of the whole thing is that on the island you've got Matt Murdock, Nicolas Cage, Jessica Drew, who are on the island, and when it all goes dark and it's, you know, it all kicks off and stuff, they're there to look for the Sentry. Essentially, he's kind of locked himself up in Rikers Island, and they're there to see him. So when it actually happens and the whole thing wipes out, they're the only protection the whole of New York have got against these massive amount of supervillains. So then Spider-Man turns up, Captain America turns up, Wolverine doesn't turn up, Iron Man turns up, and they kind of have to become this new set of Avengers. So then at the end of that particular part, Captain America's like, we came together because there's a need. So the world does need the Avengers. Let's just put them back together, but we won't be run by the government and we won't have all this money backing because you've got no money, Tony. So let's just do it, shall we? And he's like, okay, that's fine. Then they decide they're going to catch all these villains that have been escaped from Breakout, and they end up going to Genosha to catch up with Sauron, who's a mutant that's been released. And he's the main reason there's been a breakout. He's one of the main characters you think that they've broke out. And by this, they then meet Wolverine, and then Wolverine becomes that kind of on the Avengers team. There is no antagonist. They're just all like, yes, Cap, no Cap, three bags full, Cap. Yeah, we'll do whatever you want to do, Cap. Whereas Wolverine's like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to put my claws through this guy's face. Sorry. But so I like the dynamic of the fact that Wolverine's in there. He's kind of what they need to. He's the bad attitude that the Avengers needed to kind of bring them into the 20th century. So they're not all like singing and dancing and light and, you know, everything's amazing. They've got that kind of raw character who's like, do you know what? I don't care. I'm going to scream. I'm going to swear. I'm going to stab someone. Do you know what I mean? But it was good. It is a very, very good series. I would recommend reading it. If you've got time, it's only 6 issues to read Breakout. It's very, very good. It intertwines all the characters that end up on the Avengers team. It explains why they end up on the Avengers team, why their necessities. And in my opinion, in this 6 issue series, it really does solidify how much Spider-Man should have always been part of the Avengers.
Okay, that's cool.
There you go.
Yeah, as I say, I've not read. I think I've got these because is this the one? I think I asked this last week. This is the one where Ronin comes in and like all that, isn't it? So I think I have got this upstairs in my. So it does ring a bell because was this post Civil War, pre Civil War 2 and
Civil War? So there's I think it's Breakout, then it's House of M, Secret Invasion, and then Civil War.
Oh right, okay, cool. So I know I've got the Civil War and the Civil War 2, and then I have got part of this run as well. But as I say, which I did read at the time, but like I remember bits like of what you were just saying, sort of thing. So it's yeah, cool.
All right, no, I was wrong. I was sorry, I was wrong. So it's Avengers Disassembled, Breakout, House of M, Road to Civil War, The Initiative, Annihilation, World War Hulk, and then Secret Invasion. My bad.
Right. Cool. Okay.
I've got them on my Kindle in order of how I'm going to read them.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, you've got to get that right, or else you wouldn't have a clue what was going on, I suppose, would you? So
that's my kind of re-education into it. Is that I want to read each major story arc, including all their tie-ins.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I mean, it's like what I'm trying to do at the moment. I'm literally like, well, I've got to build the Miles Morales stuff into my reading at the moment because it's just driving me absolutely. I really want to pick up from the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff into the Miles Morales, but I've got the Marvel Unlimited app, so like I'll be able to read them all, but I don't think I'll be able to read them quick enough. So I'm kind of like thinking that when we're talking about stuff, I think about like background reads, I think I'm going to be sacking off like things like Detective Comics, probably not Venom, maybe not Fantastic Four, just to focus on the Miles Morales stuff. But I'll show you the rest of the stuff that I bought this week. Well, like of the new comics. Obviously, still need to read them, but it was basically I picked up the latest Star Wars because I think that's due. The Star Wars 5's due fairly soon. I think it possibly was supposed to come out this week, but it didn't. There's the Bounty Hunters, issue 3. Picked that up. That was new this week. And then whilst we read these last week, They didn't arrive into my LCS till this week, and that's the death metal stuff.
So good.
So I had to get the Superman Martina cover because after reading it, well, before I'd read it, I wasn't that good about. I might have just picked up the main cover, but as soon as I'd read it, I was like, "This is pretty cool, actually." So that's the standard cover. Obviously, a really nice foil artwork done by Greg Capullo, I think.
Yeah.
So really cool cover there. And then I picked up the Midnight exclusive variant as well, because they just originally I think that was going to be the one that was the 1 in 100 variant, but DC mis-solicited it, so it's actually the colour version of that with the minimal trade dress is the actual 1 in 100, and a lot of people I don't think realised that DC had cocked it up, so be interesting to see what happens with that one. In terms of reading, I've read one more Fantastic Four, which is this issue 5. I was really looking forward to reading this, purely because it is the first appearance of Doctor Doom.
Is that issue 5 or issue 6?
Issue 5. This is so literally first appearance of Doctor Doom. Really looking forward to see how Doctor Doom actually sort of came into the Marvel universe and stuff. And the way I can describe this story is a bit like if you have ever watched a TV show, and then towards the end of the life of that TV show, they write an episode that is absolutely just daft, let's say, and you just think, oh, they were running out of ideas. That's what this issue felt like. Not that it was bad, but it was bonkers. So effectively, the way they introduce Doctor Doom to the Fantastic Four is unless he's and this is his first appearance, so it's not like he appeared in Thor or the Avengers or something else. First time he appears, he's in a helicopter. And he throws a massive net over the Fantastic Four headquarters, kidnaps Sue Storm, carts her off. Then
how does he get her out with the box there?
He makes room for her to climb out. So she climbs up this net, gets on his helicopter. Then he has a conversation with Thing, Human Torch, and obviously Mr. Fantastic, or he has a chat. This is after obviously Thing and Human Torch, or Johnny and Ben, obviously have a fight over the dinner table again, because that's like a standard thing in Fantastic Four as well. And then
bad sitcom.
He basically says, Doctor Doom says, if you come on me helicopter and promise not to hurt me, I'll give you Sue Storm back, but you've got to do a job for me first. So that's how he sounds to me, Doctor Doom. He's like a bit of a wheeler dealer. So come on, lads, come and help me out. Come on, me helicopter.
Come on, lads, do a job for me.
Come and save Sue Storm. If you do this job for me. So he pulls them up onto his helicopter, then tells them he's invented a time machine, and he wants them to go and steal Blackbeard's treasure. Just let it sink in. So that's how this comes out. So all of a sudden you've got fucking Mr. Fantastic, the Thing looking like the Thing, and the Human Torch all sent back to whenever Blackbeard was around. He was definitely a made-up character, I think, maybe not real, but on a pirate ship, getting abducted by pirates, wearing all the pirate get-up, and then going about trying to steal Blackbeard's treasure, and it's just bonkers, literally bonkers. So I won't say things because I think you need to go out and read it for yourself, because it is equally bonkers. It just amazing, just absolutely amazing. I just thought it was I thought it just it kind of like blew my mind, because it wasn't at all what I expected at all for one of the most out there villains. I'm looking forward to reading Doctor Doom's like backstory and everything now as well. So
Yeah.
But check that out if you want to read something completely and utterly mad.
You want to read 80s sitcom?
That's what it felt like. It just felt absolutely like madness, absolute madness. But yes. So then, Tom, we will talk about your other read, which is obviously a big passion of yours at the moment.
Yes. So yeah, I've gone back and I'm re-educating myself in the Chris Claremont X-Men run. So yeah, I decided to jump on. It's his first ever issue of X-Men, which is issue 94, and you see the second appearances of Nightcrawler, Colossus, third appearance of Wolverine. You get the second appearance of, if I'm right, Banshee, but I might be wrong on that one. Thunderbird is the second appearance. Anyway, it's basically out with the old and in with the new. They sack off. Basically, Charles Xavier says, right, we've got the new team, the old team. It's good. We're going to go forward. The X-Men, old Angel, old Warren Worthington throws a wobbler. He's like, well, we're young. We don't want to do this anymore. We're out. See ya. So him and Jean Grey and the Beast and Iceman, they're like, yeah, we're going. What are you doing, Cyclops? And he's like, well, I don't know. I'm a bit torn, really. And then he comes back and he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to teach these newbies how it's done, which is pretty cool. But what I liked about this is you can see the Chris Claremont, because I've obviously read much later X-Men. You can see that Chris Claremont was a longevity writer, because there's a few things that happen in this issue that come to fruition later on. There's a bit where Wolverine has a moment with Jean Grey, which is like, nothing happens. He has a moment where he's like, you're pretty hot, basically. So you can see that's how that started. And there's a bit where Colossus is like, I don't know whether or not I want to be an X-Men, but Storm persuades him to stay, which is another hint to the fact that he takes the legacy virus a few couple of hundred issues later, because he doesn't want to be a mutant, which is interesting. And then there's a bit with Banshee where he doesn't really want to be part of the X-Men, but he gets persuaded because Charles Xavier is like, why don't you want to take up the challenge, which inevitably ends up in his death by just trying to take up all these challenges. So yeah, very interesting to read it from that point of view, knowing I know all these things that currently have happened. I mean, Chris Claremont might not have thought, I want to do all these things in the future, but it's interesting that they link up. I thought that was pretty cool. And I did think it was a really good issue. It's very much of its time. I would say it's very much similar to Fantastic Four. It did feel a bit like a sitcom in places, a bit of banter, a bit of teenage lads throwing their toys out of the pram and teenage girls going, do you know what I mean? It was a bit not as gritty as what we get now. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Tinian's Batman, but if you read any of Chris Claremont's stuff now, it's of the time. So he was writing for the time back in the day, and it is good. I did really enjoy it, and I'm going to continue to re-educate myself in the Uncanny X-Men for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like we're talking when was this, like sort of early 70s when this would have been written?
Yes, mate. Yeah. So yes, early 70s. So
it's sort of. I mean, this issue is like, I think it's like one of those like classic Bronze Age keys, isn't it? And it's like you say, it's got all your second appearances and stuff like that. So it's a lot of people like often talk as this is that like kind of a like the mini GSX1, don't they? So it's
it's worth almost the same. A CGC version of this is like $1,000, $2,000 for a 9.8. Obviously not as much as, because it's all second appearances, but I think it's because the GSXM issue annual Giant Size 1 has got the second appearance of Wolverine, but it's the first time they call him Wolverine, and this is the second time they call him Wolverine in a panel, which I think is why it makes it so valuable. But also, it's the start of one of the longest running X-Men runs with one writer, and it also is. I think Chris Claremont has the most keys in his run.
Yeah. Yeah, it just sounds amazing, doesn't it? I mean, it does. I mean, I know we've been talking about what you wanted to collect, but it does make a hell of a lot of sense sticking with the Claremont X-Men stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I looked I looked into my collection today, and I think for me, my X-Men that I grew up with were the ones from the TV show. So you're talking Rogue, Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, them sort of characters, and Gambit and stuff, and they're all part of the Chris Claremont run. Whereas all the original X-Men like Jean Grey, Beast, and Cyclops, although I like those characters, I didn't grew up with them reading them. I read this version of the X-Men. What I think they call them the X-Men Blue. Yeah, that's why I want to read and collect these, is because they make more. They've got more of a heartfelt part of me, I think.
That's cool. That's cool, mate. As I say, I think it's it's whatever resonates with you, and I think, like you say, your kind of grails that GSX one, so it's going to be a logical sort of starting point for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
in that respect. Cool. So just before I talk about the last thing that I've read, these I just wanted to say, like, one cover artist I am starting to collect, because I'd already started collecting him anyways. John Tyler Christopher, I think that's his name. Yeah, John Tyler Christopher. I always get them mixed up, but basically it's he's done a lot of these like negative space variants and stuff. This one's a funny one. It's like Venom 22. And then you've got like kind of like a Spider-Man type of one in there as well.
Major the Alex Ross thing, you know, the Marvel X.
Yeah.
I think that's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is. I was trying to figure it out because I was looking at the picture and I was like, he doesn't quite look like, you know, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, or Miles Morales for that matter. But yeah, I've collected John Tyler Christopher covers because I collected the Star Wars action figure variants, and I didn't really know until recently that when he started doing these negative space things, I made the connection. And because I've got almost a full run of the action figure variants of Star Wars, it's sort of like I thought, oh well, as I'm quite close to completing that, maybe 20 issues off, I thought, maybe I'll go back and, or not go back so much, but keep an eye open for his current things, and the negative space stuff seems to be quite cool at the moment. So those were like the two little pickups from me, and then I managed to get hold of a lot of sort of like Miles Morales Spider-Man stuff. So I've managed to get this run all the way from 1 through to 24, but I've just got a couple of the keys that are going on at the moment. So it's like, I think that's the first kiss with Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, very cool.
Then there's this one. I didn't know when I bought it had this in it, but it's got the controversial police sort of arrest scene variant that's quite popular at the moment with everything with Black Lives Matter and stuff.
Yeah.
So that one. But these all came in like a lot altogether. And then there's this one, which I think is something to do with Uncle Miles or something, obviously appearing in the Iron Spider suit. So that's like a bit of a key in that run. And then there's just this one, which I'm not too sure what the key is in that one. But issue 10. And then issue 9, and then I've got where is it? Did I just put it down? I just think I put it down. But it was yeah. I'll put it down somewhere. But in the lot as well, it did have the Spider-Man 2 ones. So that's the first cover appearance of Clone Miles. But obviously you've got this one as well, which has been sort of like hyped quite a bit as well. But yeah, literally somebody had listed them. None of these were bagged or boarded, so they've got a few like spine rolls on them, but they're generally good condition. And I just but he just put a lot of, I think, 27 comics altogether. This this run and the Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Man 2 run for like 20 quid. Buy it now, and it just came up, and I just got it straight away because I thought, well, I'm collecting Miles, so I'll put them in my collection. But I didn't realise at the time that some of the covers were actually like quite hot as well. I just thought it was a good deal for some Miles comics that are really popular at the moment.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then the only other thing I've been reading has been Venom. Read issue 2 yesterday. Didn't really move the story on much, I think, from issue 1, but we sort of get into this issue focused on, I think it's Rex, character called Rex Strickman, who's like the army soldier who went back to tell Eddie Brock about these other symbiotes that were being transported by S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first issue, and there's a big explosion, and Eddie effectively dies, but then Venom heals him. And this is all about the healing of Eddie and sort of like the effect that the war had on this Rex Strickman character. Good issue all round, but again, it was more of like a, I wouldn't say filler, but it just like explained a little bit about the origin and where the history of this Rex Strickman's experience with the symbiotes, based on his experience. I think, from what I could tell, it would have been probably from Vietnam rather than the Second World War. But there's
a Venom Vietnam book.
That'll be what it will be from then. But yeah, it's so good, beautiful artwork, really well written, really dark, really visceral sort of writing style. So I really, really, really did enjoy that, to be honest. So yeah, enjoying Venom all the way. So yeah, well, that's what we've been doing anyway, isn't it, this week, Tom?
That's us, mate. Yeah.
So we have got a giveaway going at the moment. I won't do the giveaway prizes, but if you watch some of our other videos, we explain about that. There is our top prize in that is a original sketch art cover by our very own Tom, because our Tom is obviously does do his own artwork and stuff. So do make sure you take part in that. If you do want to enter, obviously put #NQM crate giveaway down in the comments, and that will see you entered. And other than that, we will be back next Tuesday. But keep your eyes open over the weekend, because we've got a mystery box opening coming as well. And also we're going to be making a video that will probably come out, maybe not next week, but maybe the week after, of mine and Tom's very first books to go off to CGC.
Oh yeah.
Lots coming up for the channel, so do make sure that you are staying along with us. So yeah, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you don't miss anything. Give us a thumbs up, and I will say take care, and I will see you next time.
I'm going to reiterate what Rich said. Stay safe. Look after each other, as it were. Come back to the channel, please. I'm also going to do a cheeky plug to UK mystery boxes, because they're actually featuring my artwork this month. So head over there and make sure you pick up some of the mystery boxes from him. And then I'm going to say, see you.